Guys, at about 11:30 last night, it hit me that I have made a huge mistake.
You made a mistake?
How I have not been betting women's basketball this whole time, it's on me.
You hadn't.
It's on me. It's on me. Okay? First time we put in a women's basketball parlay. Nails it. And here I figured it out. Outside of South Carolina, UConn, and Iowa, take the under. Take the under in all of them. We took the under for LSU yesterday, and I gotta look up who they played. I forgot. The under was 136. They had a combined like 75 points with 4 minutes to go in the game. It's like stealing. The favorites are truly favorites. Like taking South Carolina in the spread. All right, now UConn, this isn't the old UConn, though. We can't look at UConn now like we used to back in the day or like in South Carolina. But there's a code. Like there's a true algorithm of betting women's collegiate basketball that I am going to do a deep dive. I'm talking about Greg Louganis, give me the gold medals.
This is Crain-Pythagorean theorem?
No, this is a totally different animal.
Okay.
This is like when Interstellar meets Inception.
Oh, no. I don't.
Level up. But the crazy part about it is you take something super complex.
Interception?
Interception. Super complex, and you put it together, what do you get? Simple.
I don't think so.
What do two negatives make? A positive.
I don't see it.
Right? What's a double negative? It's positive.
You just keep it simple from the start, stay simple.
So say for example, South Carolina, I think the under's 136. I think they're playing Maryland. Smash the under. Because unless South Carolina scores 125 points, that over's not hitting, bud. It's not hitting.
Taking these?
Oh, am I taking them? I'm trying everything not to take everything I put in Epic Will and put it in both of these.
Okay.
To be honest with you, under 140.5, Virginia Tech and Ohio State, please take the unders in the women's and the overs in the men's, unless San Diego State's playing. I mean, they are under just absolutely clutch, just cash.
Yeah.
I mean, you won a $200 parlay on two collegiate women's basketball games yesterday.
I'm proud of you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Now let's keep men out of it so I can keep betting like that. Please figure it out. The Final Four will feature 0 number 1 seeds for the first time in a decade. The Denver Broncos do not trade to play on wide receivers Jerry Jeudy or Cortland Sutton. And Blaine pulled his quad playing adult softball. We're going to take your calls live, too, at 8:15 a.m. Eastern. I'm Jake Crain, and welcome to Crain Company. This has been the greatest NCAA tournament of my lifetime, outside of when my team made the Final Four, of course, and yet some people are complaining about the amount of Cinderellas moving on. Not only that, we're seeing some of the same people who complain about a lack of parity during college football season now complain about there being parity in college basketball. Now, this isn't a speech advocating for a 64-team college football playoff. That's nuts. And this isn't some star-crossed connection between football and basketball because they are both so different. But this could be a little taste of maybe what's to come in college football. But we need to ask ourselves this. Do some of these same sports media members who cry into the night about the SEC's dominance in college football, do they really want to watch FAU play San Diego State in the college football national championship game? Hell no. The truth is, some people will never be pleased, regardless of what you do. So trying to appease everyone is not only a waste of time, but practically impossible. Sorry, Kevin Garnett. I also saw a couple prominent sports media members talking about how March Madness doesn't find the best team. But isn't the best way to settle who's the best on the field or court? To me, it's the only way. I hear the argument, well, it's only one game at a time and not a series, therefore it's a chance. No, it's not. The main determining factor in crowning a true champion is finding a team that can win in multiple ways. It's being able to weather storms and create them, being able to win rock fights and also win shootouts. That's what champions are made of, not excuses. So thanks, March Madness. You've delivered more than a wet nurse. And to those complaining about the way it played out, but also want parity in college football, please make up your mind before the rest of us lose ours. Go ahead and bring in my co-host, former Michigan quarterback David Cohn, my other co-host, former Western State, Colorado wide receiver Jake Crain. What's up, dog?
What's up, dudes? Good weekend?
Great weekend.
Good.
Great weekend.
Survived the tornadoes.
Avoid the tornadoes?
Yes, y'all were kind of...
You drove towards it.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
You have that machine from Twister in the back of your car? That you
Didn't. Should
Dorothy?
Have. Didn't. Should
Wasn't that
have.
the name, Dorothy?
They just bring up the video on the tornadoes cone, and it's just Cone out there fighting the tornado like Pacific Rim.
Well, I told that thing to get off my lawn.
Cone's Doctor Stranging it from his lawn. Cone's just doing this the whole time.
It did.
There's two things here. One, and I want to ask each of you this. Have you enjoyed this Cinderella-laden March Madness?
Yes. This has been the greatest March Madness.
Blanye East.
Yeah, I don't know how you can enjoy it at this point. Who wants a bunch of blue bloods in there?
Well, UConn's still in there. It's still like, look.
Well, yeah,
I know you got your mix, right? You got your taste, right? But no one wants just Duke, North Carolina. Just a one's okay, but no one wants 3 or 4.
Well, apart from the blue blood nature, all the 1 seeds, like that's a different thing, right? Like not all. Kentucky was a 6 seed this year. They could have gone to the tournament. That's still not a 1 seed, and you would have a lower seed.
Yeah, I think there's only 3 entities that don't like this. One, the host site of the Final Four. Can you imagine if Texas and Houston both would have been in the Final Four? And I get that from a monetary standpoint.
Sure.
That's business driven. The TV companies, corporations, whatever, they want the biggest brands possible to get the most eyes on the TV.
Sure.
And then the third, to me, is the NCAA. I think the NCAA tries to take care of the big brands. I don't think deep down they like it when the little guy is able to snap up and take a bite out of the big guy. But I love it because I think it is a good mix of big name brands and underdogs. That's what you want. You want somewhat of a good mix. Now, you could say it's maybe tilted more towards Cinderella, which if we're going to tilt it, I'd love to tilt it that way, as opposed to what we've seen forever and ever. But then you have the argument of, does the NCAA tournament format find the best team? Name me another way to find out who the best team is other than to play it on the field, on the pitch, on the court, squash, whatever, court, whatever. The best way to determine a champion is to figure it out on the field. And I would get this if people said, oh, well, it's a chance for just one game, whatever. If we were sword fighting, yes. Where I make one move and you slice off my head and I'm dead, yes. If basketball was we both walk in the gym and the first person to hit a 3 wins, okay, I'd give it to you. These games are 40 minutes long. There's a halftime in between. You get timeouts. You lose these games. Like they don't get stolen from you. It doesn't come down to one shot. And not only that, this tournament tests you multiple times against different styles, teams with different personnel and different sizes. This is the ultimate test to find your true champion. I hate that argument. I think it's awful. So what's the best way then? We just put all the best teams in there like we used to do. Just put the best teams in there and it just doesn't matter. Like the biggest brand names or whatever. I love the way we do it.
Well, I think the biggest brands are still in there for the most part. Everyone's had a chance to make the tournament, but I agree with you. This has been the most thrilling March Madness that I can remember. Now, since I've been filling out a bracket, probably back when I was 13, 14, I can't remember not getting a single Final Four team right. Yeah. And it's worth it to me to have an exhilarating tournament. This is the nature of a single elimination competition. I mean, sure, you could play it out in a series, but this ups the ante in a way that I don't think you have when you play more of a serial tournament. You're never going to have this level of parity in college football. Football is just a completely different sport. It takes more people. It takes more components to be able to field a team, and that's fine. But I think that what we've seen in this March Madness, it really does show you the value in keeping a team together for a long time. And we've talked about this over the last decade as we've seen more and more teams being built on this one-and-done nature. When kids come there, you have a phenomenal freshman class, and you think that the best basketball players will just be able to win you a tournament. But now we've seen We've seen that you keep a team together for a longer period of time. You get them tournament experience. The following March, they'll be able to make a run. NIL, name, image, and likeness, may change this a little bit with kids deciding to return to college and play in this tournament. But I think it's been fantastic, and I don't think we're done seeing this sort of parity in college basketball. But not just 1 seeds. No 2 seeds in the Final Four. No 3 seeds in the Final Four. No number 1 seeds in the Elite Eight for the first time in history.
Well, and I talk about, and you're exactly right, trying to compare college football and basketball like as apples to apples, it's never going to work. It'll never work. I do think and we talked about this when we looked at playoff expansion, and I've said I like it at 8 teams in college football. It's going to 12. And an example I use of being able to make the tournament and what that does for you in recruiting in the long run, the best example I could possibly give of that is Gonzaga. Before Gonzaga made noise in the tournament, they were not this entity that we're looking at. And I want to give Mark Few all the credit on this, or most of the credit. You got to give the players credit too. But Gonzaga made a run in the tournament, made a couple runs in the tournament. Then all of a sudden, Gonzaga has gone from a mid-major. They're a major. I don't think you can call Gonzaga a mid-major with the way they recruit. They're about to get out of the WCC eventually, the conference that they're in, which is a mid-major conference. But I think Gonzaga is a really good example of what that exposure over the long term can do for your program in elevating yourself. Now, will we see that, an exact replica of that in college football? I'm not sure. I think conference realignment will have more to do with that than anything on teams being able to sustain success for longer. But Blaine, I just find it shocking that some of these same exact people in mainstream sports media who cry and complain about Alabama and Georgia and LSU and Auburn and the SEC always dominating, now want to complain about, oh, well, there's too many Cinderellas in the tournament. Did you notice that on social media yesterday? Because I could not believe the hypocrisy in some people in the 2 major sports.
Well, the thing about this, there's certain personalities that are already going to find something to complain about. Doesn't matter what it is. I don't believe in something being worse if there's too many Cinderellas in it.
Yeah.
Cinderella is just another word for the team that deserves to be there. At the end of the day, you're winning these games. And it kind of goes back to what David said with the parity of college basketball. I mean, you don't see a lot of young teams out there right now.
No.
I mean, maybe the youngest out there might be FAU. I mean, from a guard standpoint wise, I mean, a bunch of sophomores running around. I believe their center's a sophomore as well. But older guards and experience winning the tournament. And it's not even experience of tournament games, right? It's experience going through the grind of the season. Because most of it, when it comes to the tournament, you play basketball, a lot of it's distractions. You know, I saw Kansas State go in the FAU locker room after the game and talk about how good they played and keeping the distractions out of the game coming up. So I think it's huge for the tournament. You're not a basketball fan if you don't like watching this.
Yeah.
I sincerely believe that to my core.
And the reason we love Cinderellas, because this country we live in is the biggest Cinderella of all time. The biggest Cinderella of all time. We took 1 million farmers who were pissed about the way they were being treated and took down an empire and created ourselves. That's why it shocks me that more people aren't, you know, in love with the Cinderella, because we are living the greatest Cinderella story of all time. We were UMBC and kicked Virginia's ass and then came over here and started building.
There's Cinderellas with 30-plus wins on a season. So that's hard for me to believe that you're a Cinderella.
Well, it's again though. I mean, a 9 seed going to the Final Four. I mean, I think we had a trivia question about how many. What was the lowest seed to go to the Final Four before this tournament started, and it was bare pickings once you got to about that 9 seed. So again, I've absolutely loved it. But you guys are right. I mean, even College of Charleston, a team that lost in the first round, had over 30 wins. I mean, this season, old guards, pace of play, because styles make fights. They know how to play in all of it. But speaking about styles, all right. I don't know how you style your coffee in the morning, but if you're not drinking Black Rifle, you need to style it better, all right? You need to go from Paul Mitchell to Scrappy Cocoa, all right? And you can save money and drink America's coffee if you go to blackriflecoffee.com, use our promo code BOOSTER, that's BOOSTER at checkout for 10% off your purchase and your first coffee club order. That's right, it's blackriflecoffee.com, use our promo code BOOSTER for 10% off. Now, you can also find Black Rifle Coffee in grocery and convenience stores near you. Black Rifle Coffee, America's coffee. Cone, you're holding some Black Rifle heat over there. What's it looking like?
This one's done. Blackbeard's delight. Gone. In my belly.
100% of the time, it tastes delicious 100% of the time.
Gunship. Making my way through this one.
Yeah, gunship.
That's a helicopter.
Don't piss me off.
They also have a llama with guns.
Yes.
Everyone knows that. I'm working on getting to make a Flaming Dragon brew.
Black Rifle Coffee. I'm telling you right now, if you make a Flaming Dragon brew, it will sell out. It will be bigger than than Blue Magic in the 70s. Remember Frank Luke was out there.
It sounds delicious.
It does sound delicious.
A cup of
Wake up with
Flaming Dragon brew?
Golly, I'm ready to go.
Come on now.
Start
I am
the day.
too.
Riding your favela on horseback.
Wake up in the morning and burn the whole neighborhood down. I'm super excited for that. Also, make sure you subscribe. Check out our merch. Check out the originals of the Real Daily Wire. You can find us there. Sign up for Daily Wire Plus and subscribe to this if you our channel. If you haven't, like this video, turn that notification bell on, and look, tell us in the comments. You like Cinderellas or not? You're either Cinderella, all right, or you're the ugly stepsister. So you pick which one you want. What's going on in the Booster Club?
Go to Mad Veg. What's up? Hashtag Ask Crain Company. Who's your favorite to win the Final Four, and who's the underdog to win, in your opinion?
I mean, I think FAU's got to be the underdog, right? UConn's got to be the favorite, right? Is anybody playing better than UConn right now?
No.
Because I'm in a dilemma, dilemma. All right, now I didn't want to come in here today and talk about FAU, and, the bet before the tournament, a ton. But sprinkle a little bit on FAU, $10 to win $2,000, all right, to win the Natty. So, obviously, as they've been winning, DraftKings, who we love, you can cash out, all right? So, I'm going back and forth. Right now, they're only offering me, it's like $100, all right? But I'm not cashing out for $100 on a $10 bet to win $2,000. But if FAU beats San Diego State,
which I think they will.
which I hope they will.
I think they will.
I hope they will. And they play UConn? If FAU plays UConn, I don't know, man.
What do you think the cash out on that bet will be?
I don't know, 350? 400?
That's all?
Yeah, well, if it's only 100 and they made it to the Final Four out of 2,000?
It's disrespectful. At
that's
that
like
point, you got to let
5%.
it ride. You got to let the $2,000 ride at that point.
Yeah, what? No, don't pull out.
Here's
1,000 maybe.
Here's my rule. If it's over 750, I got mouths to feed, bro.
Respectable.
I got mouths to feed. I got a beautiful fiance and 3 dogs, including a Frenchie 1-year-old that will melt your heart.
Do you know what's better than 750? 2,000.
Okay, you just told me. You just told me. It's
Hey, sometimes you just got to walk in them waters.
Mate, would you make your mind up?
Walk in them waters. Look,
What do you want
you
me to do?
made the decision.
Okay, Kirk Gibson.
You made the decision, all right? You run deep with that. You go all the way. Don't sell yourself short.
750 FAU playing UConn. I've watched Jordan Hawkins' Ender's game this whole tournament. All right, I'm not gonna watch him rip my guts out. I don't know. Maybe I need to go in that darkness.
What would hurt worse, right?
Aaron Rodgers win.
What would hurt worse? Like you getting the 750, all right, pulling out and watching them win it? Or what? I don't even know what else would hurt worse than that.
Me not winning anything because I watched him lose it.
What they win it?
Well, see, I can't talk to you about this.
Like, would you be complete as a man, just knowing like you
Would I be complete as a man knowing I
you
pulled
packed
out?
your stuff and headed home?
Would I be complete?
You took your ball and headed
Would
home.
I be complete as a man knowing I pulled out? Wouldn't be the first time. So yes,
You won $750 off $10. You'd still feel good.
yeah. I mean, dude,
Yeah.
I'm getting.
Feel good.
I
But
mean,
you know it's better than 750?
here we go. Here we go.
You're already in it. You're knee deep in it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
the
dip
Final
your,
Four, baby.
Don't dip
Ride
your
that
toe in,
thing.
baby. Hey,
I know.
believe.
You slap that.
I don't know. I
sign.
gotta
Believe.
see.
Slap
I
that
gotta see
sign.
if there's any signs or anything like that. Remember, we have call-ins today. You better call in early because it's been jam-packed ever since we started doing this. We're gonna start taking them in between 7:15 to 7:30. I'm gonna put it light there, but make sure you call in by 7:15 a.m. Central, 8:15 a.m. Eastern, and give us your call sign if you haven't. Remember, once you give it, all right, it's gone. It's 1-855-236-3228. That's 1-855-236-3228. All right, that's the jingle, Conan. Just came up with it. What else going on in the club?
Go to Con Air Ron, hashtag Ask Crain. So Cone, don't answer this. Okay? I'm just kidding. Whose tempo overrides the other? San Diego State or FAU?
Oh, it's definitely FAU. 100%.
I saw on social media some back and forth because people are talking about, oh, this style is the best style and this style is the best. You know what the best style is? The best style is the run you run the best for the longest and the biggest moments. If there was, I say this in football all the time, if there was one style or one system that was the best to win the national championship, everybody would run it. Everybody would run it. Kind of look at the NFL. Everybody run the same thing. They pretty much said, all right, this is the best way to do it. We're all going to do some version of this when you watch NFL offenses. But in college football, in college basketball in general, really outside of the NFL, the style isn't as important as how efficient you are running that style and how efficient you're running it in clutch moments. There's been teams, I've watched Virginia win a national championship. I've watched high-flying, high-paced teams win a national championship. I think the best answer is what the best answer always is. It's balance or versatility. Can you go up tempo and be successful? Can you slow it down and be successful? Can you go at a medium pace and be successful? Can you be successful when the deep ball's not hitting in football or the three-pointer's not hitting in basketball? Those are the teams that win championships. And typically, you know what that comes down to? Experience, which here is what we call the unteachable intangible, because you got to go through it to learn it. But saying, it's like when people, oh, he's a system quarterback. Oh, he's a system quarterback. Let me tell you something. You're going to play quarterback outside the triple option and still a little bit in the triple option. You're having to read safeties. You're having to take the snap. You're having to read leverage. You have to know what coverage they're in. You have to know what route you have where when you're getting this leverage, how you're going to reverse out on the handoff, which way you're going to boot. To me, I think that is a argument that there is no end to it because it doesn't make any sense. It's, are you good at what you do? And I think, David, you said something in the beginning of this show, not this one, but when we started doing this, that resonates to me with Georgia Southern. We don't have to run the same thing they've run in the past that's worked just because it's worked. There's more than one way to skin a cat, and I firmly believe that. Well,
talking about a clash of styles, that Alabama and San Diego State game, that was the epitome of like an inverse, offense. Nate Oates has this philosophy with Alabama to either shoot threes or take the ball to the hoop. Even so much so that if you're shooting mid-range jumpers, he's going to pull you out of the game. Meanwhile, San Diego State was just settling for all mid-range jumpers, top of the key, at the nail, inside the arc. Yep. It was crazy to watch, and neither one of them were really shooting well, especially in the first half and the first half of the second half, and then San Diego State started to play better. But, I mean, look, Alabama shot 11% from three. Gonzaga shot 10% from three against UConn. There's a reason these Final Four teams are still standing.
San Diego State, going into that game yesterday, I don't know what it was at the end of the Creighton game, had held opponents in the NCAA tournament to 18% shooting from three. You want to talk about slicing the middle of the Hydra's head off before it even gets started? It's been fantastic. But remember, if you donate, we'll ask your question quicker. But let's go ahead and get to best and worst of the weekend.
Yeah, what'd you guys like this weekend?
Y'all want me to start or Blanya, you want to start?
It's up to y'all. What do y'all want?
Go ahead, Blaine.
Go ahead, Blaine. Start with best.
I mean, I got to show a little love to the ladies here.
I like that.
Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
From Iowa.
Bucket.
And look, I'm going to keep this stizzy with everybody. I'm not out here watching a lot of women's games. I'm not. But Caitlin Clark is a problem. Triple-double, 41 points, 10 boards, 12 assists. She's doing it by herself.
Talking while doing it.
Yeah, and she's not afraid of the moment either. And you can tell. I think Caitlin Clark, through her career at Iowa, to the WNBA, will be one of the best women basketball players ever. I really do. From just a ball handling standpoint, from a shooting standpoint, from the IQ of basketball, she is right there with the best.
I legitimately think she can be the Steph Curry of the women's game.
I agree. I agree.
I think she could be the Steph Curry of the women's game.
And my worst? Let's go and bring up this video. Creighton, San Diego State.
Oh, here we go.
Right.
I've been waiting for this moment.
4 seconds left on the clock. Tie game. The entire game has been physical throughout the entire game, and certain things didn't get called. But we always talk about this with referees. Consistency in calling the games. Run the clip and tell me what you think. Goes left 2, hand on the hip, flop. Call a foul. Call a foul. I don't think this was a foul at all. You go through this game, I've seen worse not get called. You go, will they call this foul in the first 5 minutes of this game? No, but the referees love to do what? When the moment's the biggest, they love to put it in their hands and be the difference. I don't think this was a foul.
All right, here's where I disagree.
Flop.
Here's where I disagree with you. And we've talked about on the show, y'all know me. All right, my disdain for officials, if you've ever watched a show before, me defending an official, this feels weird. All right? This feels weird, to be honest with you, being on this side of the fence. I will sit here at the top of a mountain in this chair, whatever, and scream, be consistent, be consistent. That was a blatant foul at the end. There's one thing, it's one thing if they're letting physicality go off the ball for positioning. If when you're getting guarded, and I put a picture on social media and pointed out where you can see this foul taking place. Some things are just blatant, all right? Just because you're letting the game be physical doesn't mean you let blatant fouls go. Now, this wasn't one where he was taking it up in the crowd, all right, where it's hard to see. This was literally basically at the free throw line with nobody within 3 feet of him where everybody can see it. When he went up, this is a bad play by the defender.
Yep.
The referee did not decide this game. Nembhard decided this game when he put his hand not only on his hip, grabbed his hip, and pushed him down and out as he was shooting. This man is not an X-Men. He is not an Avenger. He is not Superman. He cannot contort his body in the air to the side the way he did or somehow generate force to push him wide. This was a bad defensive play. This was a foul, and I actually want to give the official kudos for having the guts to call it in this situation in a game that was physical. Now, do I think they called a great game the whole time? No, but that's not the argument. But if we're going to sit here and say that if there's any physicality allowed, then you're able to blatantly push shooters in the air when they're moving, then we might as well just not call fouls and turn it into that sport where you wrestle your way down the court and try and make a layup.
Wasn't blatant at all. You can have a hand on the
blatant.
Wasn't blatant at all. You have a hand on the hip. He didn't push off. He didn't extend. The kid felt the hand and then fell.
Okay.
So he got the call. You run through the game. The first 5 minutes of the 7 minutes of this game, I saw a lot worse than that, and they didn't call
fouls. Blaine, they called fouls the whole game.
No, not to this level, not to the physicality of this.
We have got to get out of this mindset that referees are not allowed to do their job and call fouls.
No one's in that mindset. Nobody's in that mindset.
Yeah, we do. We did it in the Super Bowl. We just did in the Super Bowl. The guy is holding him. He's holding him. But we say because it's the last 2 minutes, referees aren't allowed to do their job.
No one's saying that.
And anybody can play defense, and the physicality of the game can be as rough as we want it because it's the last 2 minutes.
Consistency. That's what I want.
That is a foul.
That did not get called in the first half of this game.
You know what's wrong about it is immediately everyone's talking about, oh, the referees can't call that foul in that moment. Why don't we tell this kid he has to play better defense? Where is he at right now? He's behind the guy. Why is he behind the guy? Because you let the dribbler get past you. At that point, you have to take your chances and hope the guy misses the shot. Not go up there and foul him where you know he's going to make one of these free throws to end the game.
Again, I'm not a scientist. Go back, run this clip back. And I wish we had the view because you can really see it when you look at the camera that's on the goal. He goes straight up to shoot this. When he goes straight up, there is no way that a human being in the air like that can then go sideways past this point. Play it. He then goes sideways.
He just landed.
It's his left hand that pushes.
He just landed. You can flop in a basketball game.
He landed outside the lane.
If that didn't get called in an Auburn game, you would burn your house to the ground.
That is a blatant lie. That is a blatant lie. This was not consistency at all. Didn't get called in the first half. And if even 50-50, which what it was, you don't blow your whistle. After this entire game, even if the call was 50-50, it's a tic-tac call. For y'all to come out and say that's a blatant foul is ridiculous. If anything, that's a soft foul at best. The kid basically landed and then fell sideways.
Okay, so I can't wait for Professor X to wheel his ass into San Diego State and get an X-Men.
Basketball is one of those interesting things, though, where I would rather get my shot off and then get tackled to the ground with a really hard foul. That could affect your shot a lot less than if you barely get nicked with the ball still in your hand on your elbow, right?
Like that is true. I'd rather get hit on the hip than the arm.
Your shot can be more affected by just barely getting touched than having a hard foul. So what happened after this was more interesting with them deciding to call the game on a stopwatch rather than go off the timing of the game. That to me was more egregious than a foul.
Well, I got a problem too with do we really know that it takes you can't get a shot off in 0.3 seconds?
Who gets
unless John Brinkus did that, I don't believe it. Who came up with it? Have we ever
get Brinkus on?
Have we ever found out because with the Derek Fisher rule, it's either 0.4 seconds or you can't get a shot off. Who what? I never saw an experiment live on TV.
I think what they mean to say is you running the clock, you're not good enough at your job to start it.
That's another thing but I think we'll disagree there. But again, I think you can have what we believe. You can be on our side and on Blaine's side and say, I hated the game ended like that. I can still hate the way the game ended and agree that was a foul. I hate when games end on a foul or a penalty or something like that. I would love in a perfect world for Nembhard not to touch him to gone up because he missed the shot. Now, did he miss it because he got nicked on the hip a little bit? I don't know. I think these guys have made shots through contact a lot through this tournament. But I do believe that it was a foul. But that was a good best and worst, Blaine.
Thank you.
Yep. All right,
turn.
Yep. Here's mine. I got to give FAU some credit. All right. That they're my best. I mean, this is a team, again, that the luxury of being able to have a sports show is that we get to watch sports. And a lot of people didn't get to watch the conference tournaments. Now, I had watched FAU a little bit earlier in the year. Had watched them. I liked their game. I like Vladislav Golden, the big guy they got down low. But the way this team wins, and Jerome Tang, the head coach of Kansas State, said it best. Toughness, right? Toughness, toughness, toughness. What are two things that FAU and San Diego State have in common? They've been down in this tournament in crucial moments. What do they do every time? Whenever it looks like it's about to get away from them, or it's down to 5 to 7 points, somebody steps up and makes a big play, whether that be on the offensive end or the defensive end. And that's been the difference in these teams. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I mean, don't forget, FAU snuck by Memphis. If you look at the path that FAU's had to take, they have played different style teams. They've been up, they've been down, but they know how to win because I think this team's mental toughness and this team's togetherness is at an all-time high. And when you mix enough talent with togetherness and toughness, you can have a team that can make a run like this because it's not about the name that's on the front of the jersey. It's about the name that's on the back of the jersey. And when the name on the back of the jersey all comes together to form one thing, that's when you can captain planet this whole tournament and go on a whirlwind run like FAU has. And then my second best, guys, college baseball is ripping and roaring right now. And we're going to talk about more and more the closer we get to Omaha. But Parker Nolan from Vanderbilt, you want to talk about having a day? On Friday, they beat Mississippi State 26-3. 26-3. Now, we can talk about how Ole Miss and Mississippi State being bad in baseball is just weird. It's like putting a mustache on Megan Fox. It's just weird to look at. But Parker Nolan in the Friday night game hit 2 grand slams, had 11 RBIs, and went 5 for 6. But the most impressive thing, his first at bat, he struck out looking. That's why you don't quit after you don't get down. You don't let your first at bat affect your next at bat. You don't let your fielding or your hitting affect your fielding or your hitting affect your pitching. He hit a home run the next day too. He ended the series, I think, with 14 RBIs.
Wow.
We talk about one person being able to win a game and how in football you can't do it, but in baseball and basketball you can. That helps. All right, now you need guys to get on, but when you get 11 RBIs in one game, bud, pretty good chance you're going to win that game, or else we're firing the pitching coach. And then my worst, all right, the first one, and I believe we have this clip. All right, it's Women's History Celebration Month of Celebrations, whatever this month. And so the geniuses over at ESPN, and this is so on brand for them, decided to celebrate ESPN's Women's History Month by showing a clip of Leah Thomas, a.k.a. Will Thomas, because we all know the two biggest cheaters in sport. They're both named Will Wade and Will Thomas, but that's a story for another day. They showed a clip of Leah Thomas beating actual females in swimming. And then after the backlash, the last few SportsCenter anchors, Matt Berry's my favorite. Stan Verrett was up there. But Stan Verrett got absolutely eviscerated on social media. I've seen guys go up in flames. I've never seen somebody get shot into the sun. And I don't agree with some of the stuff Clay Travis says. We're a little bit different the way we go about things. But Clay Travis absolutely shoved Stan Verrett's head in the toilet and gave him a swirly before they went back to biology class. Because after he posted about Leah Thomas, Stan Verrett, the SportsCenter anchor, who I think is fantastic at his job, but is obviously just, run of the mill, snapped back at him about something. And all Clay asked him was, listen, do you think that men should play in women's sports, basically? Like, do you think it's bad? And he wouldn't answer the question. He kept deflecting. And then all of a sudden, because it exposes him. And at what point, and we have friends who work at ESPN. All right, and there's some great people that work at ESPN that send me messages and other things saying, I wish I could really say what I think. But at what point do you become complicit? Like, at what point do you become complicit if you work there? Like, this is crazy. Like, this is absolutely crazy. But that's why we started Crain Company. So just watching that, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't shocked. But I tell you what, the minute we develop a sports app that'll give you live scores and things like that will be the minute that ESPN will go down in flames. It'll happen eventually. Remember I said it. It'll happen. There's a reason they're having to fire all these people. It's coming up. All right, because everybody's about sick of this. Okay? And I don't care what you think about trans or anything like that, but men playing in women's sports, it's disgusting. All right? It's disgusting. And I'll leave it there. My second worst was the tornadoes in Mississippi. We have family in Tupelo, which is close to Amory, And tornadoes scare me to death. I think, speaking of the movie Twister, I watched that when I was about 7, 8 years old, and it really hit me different. Like Jaws, the movie. I think that's why I'm scared of sharks. I don't do tornadoes, all right? But I want to give credit to Matt Lobhon, the meteorologist there, because you know it's bad when the meteorologist does this. Let's go ahead and play the clip of Matt Lobhon on the Weather Channel if we have it back there. Do we have it? Okay, well, when we pull it, let's go ahead and play it. Let's get that pulled. Basically, he said a prayer live on air when the scan came in of how bad the tornado was.
He does a great job.
He does a fantastic job. I've watched him before. But, regardless of what, religion you are, it doesn't matter. Like, that is unbelievably serious when the meteorologist is saying a prayer on live television, giving people updates. And, my thoughts and prayers and condolences go out to the families of lost people that died in the storm. It's just awful. But it was really, really bad. And I'm just very, very happy, that our family was able to be okay, and you were able to be okay.
Yeah,
we
were in
close
Alabama.
to it. But you don't really realize the power of Mother Nature until you see something like that.
Yeah,
so we'll have that clip here in a little bit. But I've never seen anything like that before in my life. Because typically, let's be honest, meteorologists get excited about bad weather. I mean, you watch Jim Cantore during the hurricane, they're like, woo! He's like Wild Bill riding a tornado. He's like, I hope it's a world ender. I hope it ends a world, so I was here to do it. So, but in all seriousness, man, that's some scary. A mile wide, a tornado a mile wide, and you saw it just took rolling fork, it picked it up like it was a napkin and just threw it away.
It's something you don't forget. I was in Tuscaloosa when that tornado came through, and it's just
terrible.
So real. It's just surreal at the moment. You really don't know what to do. There's not really much you can do. I'm just glad y'all made it out safe. I know y'all were somewhat close to it. So.
No, it was scary, man. Scary stuff.
Well, best and worst, Coney?
All right, best and worst. All right, my best from the weekend, Michigan hockey headed to the Frozen Four for the 27th time, which is an NCAA record. The Michigan difference, boys, down late in the third period, 1-0 to Penn State, ended up tying it up, winning in overtime. Very excited for that team. They'll join Quinnipiac, Boston, and Minnesota in Tampa.
So no Georgia or TCU?
For the, not in the Frozen.
They haven't even made it this year.
Not in the Frozen Four.
We need to start hockey.
The other best, Kansas State point guard Marquise Noel. This kid is just unbelievable. I hate it for Kansas State, put out by Florida Atlantic en route to the Final Four, but this guy, 20 points and 19 assists against Michigan State, set the NCAA record for assists, comes back, has 30 and 12 in that loss to Florida Atlantic. He's from New York. He was able to have those performances in Madison Square Garden in front of his whole family, which is very exciting, and his brother there in the crowd. That kid is unbelievable. Kansas State had an awesome run. That really stood out to me. My worst from the weekend. The fake news reports on Miami's health. I'm not.
Yeah, y'all screwed.
Okay, look, for the last 3 months, I've been looking at this Miami Hurricanes basketball team and saying, that's my horse. I don't care what they're seeded. I don't care what region they're in or who they're playing. I'm going to ride with Miami because I believe in them. Those old guards. You got Isaiah Wong, all these guys. Pack.
Long place, long time.
Exactly. And then right before the tournament starts, they don't win the ACC tournament. They say Norshad Omier is injured, their leading rebounder. He's not going to be that effective in the tournament. Drake's the oldest team, coming in the tournament. I still had him beaten. I said Isaiah Wong will put Miami on his back. They'll find a way to beat Drake, which they didn't play great. Still got past them. Then they beat Indiana. Then they beat Houston. Now they've beaten Texas, one after another. And you know what? It's more than just I'm upset. DL had Miami in the Final Four in their first bracket. And I said, look, there's a lot of injuries. You might want to rethink that. She switched it up. She reminded me about it last night.
Oh, I'm sure
so not only is the bracket, my bracket's busted, now my marriage is, my marriage is on the fritz, all right?
This is the greatest NCAA tournament ever, despite ruining David's marriage.
What? Baseball season around the
I can't wait.
We got Gary Sheffield Jr. coming on tomorrow night.
Yes.
One question I want to ask him was, if you ever watched Gary Sheffield swing, what was it? I hope he didn't get spanked growing up. Because if he got spanked growing up by Gary Sheffield, I don't know how you're walking.
I watched Gary Sheffield hit a ball that bounced to the plate like 500 feet.
Yeah, I watched Gary Sheffield hit one that hit the wall that I think they sent scientists down like when a UFO crashes. All right, here's this clip of Matt Lobhon. Let's go ahead and I just want to play this and let you guys listen to it. And you can feel just in his voice how scary this thing actually is. Let's go ahead and play the clip.
Oh, man. Dear Jesus, please help them. Amen. Okay.
I mean, when
That's terrifying.
that's like somebody when they strap me to the roller coaster saying, "Stop it as it goes. It's gonna break."
That's terrifying.
Like as it goes. Like that's goodness gracious. That
that
just
in
gives me the
Tupelo?
chills. So you see Amory right there? Amory is literally, because you got Amory, Hatley, and then you Tupelo's out of the screen right now, but it's basically a sister city. Like my uncle has a lot of work in Amory, like Tupelo, Amory, or Amory is where Major League Baseball player, really good, left-handed, losing my mind. Somebody tell me in the chat, I'm losing my mind. I'll remember it here probably at 1 o'clock in the middle of the night. I'll hop up like Dracula. But no, good best and worst there, guys. That was a good one. Also, before we rock and roll, if you want to be at your best when you're feeling your worst, you need our friends over at Nugenics. Because guys, you feel like it's harder to get in shape and stay in shape? Well, our sponsor, Nugenics Total T, is offering a complimentary bottle when you text 231-231 and enter keyword Crain. That's C-R-A-I-N. That's 231-231 with keyword Crain. Because as we age, our body loses free testosterone, except me. Our energy drops, our libido falls, and we start to lose muscle. When Nugenics Total T Testosterone Booster, it helps you turn back the clock. It's Benjamin Button, baby. All right, so text keyword Crain, C-R-A-I-N, to 231-231 for a complimentary bottle of Nugenics Total T. Text now, and you'll also get a complimentary bottle of Nugenics Thermo, their most powerful fat incinerator, because that fat is out of here,
Gone,
mister.
baby.
All right, so text keyword, that's my favorite part of the week. Text keyword Crain, C-R-A-I-N, to 231-231. That's C-R-A-I-N to 231-231. Bounce back like Jordan.
Turn back the clock, man.
Turn it back. Don't touch it. All right, what do we got in the Booster Club?
Let's go to MJ Breyer. MJ, what's up, man? Good to see you in here. He says, hey, guys, I'm never here because of my work hours, but I just got to say, Jake, you're wrong.
Okay.
All right?
All right, good thing.
This tourney has way too many upsets. It's cool in the beginning, but now it's just not fun anymore.
What?
I
What?
love it.
Like, hold on. Like, so you just want the same thing? Do you just want to see Duke? Oh, great. Duke, North Carolina, and Kansas all in the Final Four again. No. Look, how many times will this actually happen again? I don't know. But I think it's a mixture of the transfer portal and the COVID year. I think it kind of balanced everybody out in the game of basketball. You can kind of center everything. But again, you just want to see the same peanut butter and jelly every year? I don't want PB&J. I don't want to go to the same movie every weekend. I don't want to go eat at the same restaurant every weekend. Sometimes I like sushi. Sometimes I like Italian. Sometimes I like hamburgers.
With no ham in them.
None. But I do.
I'm going to sue.
But I tell you what I don't eat. Boneless wings. Because those are called chicken nuggets. All right?
So you don't eat nuggets?
I eat nuggets.
Okay, there you go.
Look,
Problem
I'm not rehashing
Problem
this.
solved.
You can call in 1-855-236-3228. How about that one? It's absolutely locked in there.
Let's go to Ryan Buffalo. He says, why is UConn beating the Zags by almost 30? Not anybody's best.
Shot 10%. Well, I thought we had already talked about that.
Yeah. We mentioned UConn before.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think I haven't believed in Gonzaga in a long time. So I think I can take myself out. Me being shocked, Gonzaga got bounced before they won a national championship or got back to the Final Four because they don't have Jalen Suggs anymore. I'm not shocked. I say this every year. Everybody just, early in the year, Gonzaga beats Michigan State on some aircraft carrier, and everybody else just starts freaking out about, Gonzaga, they're the best team in the country. They're the best team in the country. Here's the case. Gonzaga's had one team that could possibly win the national championship, and that team lost against Baylor. And the biggest part of that team was Jalen Suggs. The guards aren't good enough at Gonzaga. Drew Timmy's good enough. The guards aren't good enough. So next time, you want to know why Gonzaga wins these non-conference games? And it's great. I want to give them credit. They have to. Because if they don't, then they're going to have to rely on a conference where their parents still work at the concession stand at halftime and their volleyball lines on the court. So Gonzaga getting blown out, I'm the one that told you it was going to happen.
I like Gonzaga. I was surprised.
Well, I don't not like them. I'm just sick of
about the
hearing
guard.
all that.
UCLA has really good guards, right? And
Yeah.
Gonzaga beat them.
They did without Jalen Clark.
Gonzaga made it to the Elite Eight. I mean, they shot 10% from three. That's what it was. They shot 10% from three. You shoot 40%, you're in that game at least. Maybe you still lose. Same with Alabama. Alabama shot 11% from three against San Diego State. You can't win like that.
I think defensively they're guards.
Yeah, I think Jared's wife should be happy with how far they win the tournament.
I think Jared's wife should be happy.
Remember Jared to call in.
Yep.
You know, his wife, he calls us on the way to work. She should be happy. But I want to ask both y'all this because I had a couple messages on Twitter about this. Was this year a letdown for Alabama? Was this tournament a letdown for Alabama?
When you're the number one overall seed and you lose in the Sweet 16, yes.
With all that depth, too. That was the biggest.
Is this the best Alabama basketball team ever?
No.
In terms of the talent they had or how far? I mean, not if you
encompassing
far.
everything.
Yeah, I mean, look, they just had so much talent. I think Brandon Miller's going to be a top 3 pick. He had the worst field goal percentage of any player in the tournament since 1985.
He had an awful tournament. Here's my thing. I would much rather play this year's Alabama team than the Alabama team that had Primo and them on it that lost to UCLA in overtime. Again, and I think from a depth standpoint, this Alabama team was deeper.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you that. And Brandon Miller at his peak is probably better than any player that was on that Alabama team. But the physicality level that Alabama team played with the defense, their defense ignited their offense.
With Herb Jones.
With Herb Jones, who I think is the best.
They were fun to watch.
I would take Herb Jones over Brandon Miller.
John Petty, he was there for like 9 years.
I would legitimately take Herb Jones over Brandon Miller.
This team, though, I mean, with Sears, I mean, Quinterly was turning the basketball over a good bit throughout the season, but still, he wasn't even a starter some of the time, is how they were. The kids they had coming off the bench,
Clowney.
Pringle and Clowney and Gurley. I mean, it was just, they should have gone farther than this.
Yeah, again, I think it was a huge letdown, especially with everything that happened and then all the trash talk. See, this is what happens when you trash talk all year and then you play in a crazy NCAA tournament. You kind of look like an idiot at the end, even though everybody does it and every fan base ever in the history of the world has done it, from Auburn, Alabama, all the way up to Anchorage State. But Friday, we didn't get to its mid before we get to call-ins.
I can't.
Man, why are you hobbling? Why you hobbling?
All right, man?
If you don't know, Blaine, a.k.a. Mr.
okay,
Glass, got hurt playing adult softball.
Look, okay, it's a long story. I don't want to talk about it. Just know the next at bat, I came up and hit one to the moon.
He Kirk Gibson the next at bat. Did you do the lawnmower crank around second base?
No, I almost got thrown out of the game because the referee was trash, or the umpire was trash.
He was doing his best.
It's not my fault. Look, they threw a pitch before that was right here, and he called it a strike. I was like, that's really a strike. He's like, yeah, I hit the next pitch out, turned down.
Well, what you didn't know, that was the umpire that got fired after the Mississippi Valley State Southeast Louisiana game.
So everything you said about referees today was all about your softball game?
Now we know.
You were projecting?
It
makes more sense now, because that was a foul.
It does.
Tell me this, David. If that's a Michigan guy, all right, on defense, is that a foul?
You know what I'm saying?
Is that a foul?
You know who?
No.
I'm yelling at that TV as loud as I can at the player who play better defense and not let the guy behind you.
All right, you ready for its mid?
All right.
All right, hey. Today, we got a little input from the Booster Club, so we're going to do actors.
Actors, not actresses, just actors.
Yeah, not actresses, all right?
Okay.
All right, not yet. Yeah, go ahead and roll that graphic, baby. Double Jacked in tan. I love it. We're going to start it off right with Denzel. No, I'm just kidding.
I was about to say, sit down.
Sorry. Samuel L. Jackson.
Ooh.
Stop screaming at me, dog. Just because you scream your lines, all right, it doesn't make you funny. When I watch Samuel L., I can tell I'm watching a movie. All right, good actors do what? They get you lost in the process. All right, Samuel's just one, always pissed, and two, always yelling. So Samuel, get the script and get off my plane.
Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
Thank you, sir. Next up, Robert Pattinson.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
As a Twilight fan, this hurt me. I love it. But after the Batman performance, he had to make this list.
Yeah.
There's something about his face.
Yeah.
I can't tell. I mean, maybe he's a genius, or I'm going to come in and catch him eating a Capri Sun in the back. It's tough to ruin a Batman role. But, Robert, you found a way to do it.
Oh.
And it's disgusting. Next up, might catch some hate for this one, George Clooney. I said it. Wow. Not going to Danny Ocean your way out of this one.
Wow.
I don't know if George Clooney has ever actually acted, or is he just himself in every movie? All right?
So true.
Maybe stop worrying about global warming and making good tickets. His 24 starting movie roles, the big roles, 4 of them made money. He's batting a 160 right now. Hey, bring me your playbook on It's Mid, and you're out of here, mister.
Wow.
Next up, last but not least, Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Whoa.
Probably the highest paid actor ever. But name me a star performance he has that he's had. Name one.
Walking Tall.
Wrong. Not even close. All right? It's something about, I guess you could just be jacked and be mediocre at your job and people pay you a lot of money. How do you think I got here? Okay? How do you think I got here? So The Rock, tell me who's giving you your juice, because I want their number. And 2, you're a mediocre actor. That's its mid.
Nice. I like the pointed it's mids. I like the do you like the categorizing the it's mids?
Yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy
I agree with one of those.
Robert Pattinson?
which
You're a
one?
Robert Pattinson guy?
I like Robert Pattinson in.
I'd rather get jumped by a group of dwarves with samurai swords.
Look, I was a huge Robert guy. All right? Then he got on Batman.
Him as Batman?
Then I got on Batman, and I left that movie whether or not knowing Batman was gay.
Look, at what point are we going to let Eric Bana
I
be
haven't
Batman?
seen that one, so I can't speak to that. And so you like Robert Pattinson in the Twilight movies?
Yes.
You like him that in
I do.
those?
I like the
rest
Twilight
of the
movies in
stuff he's
general.
been in.
But I like the Twilight movies in general.
Samuel Jackson?
What? He just yells at me every movie. That's it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
He's like, he yells at me
not
every
wrong.
movie, and tell me where Captain America touched you.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's just not that good.
I'm with you.
I liked his role in Django.
Yeah, speaking about touching, though, in an emotional way, we got a great interview with Josh Hawley we released last Saturday. You guys need to check it out. He talks about, obviously them at the federal level trying to stop men and women's sports. That's something we're going to keep harping on, even if you get tired of hearing it. Those females are tired of having to put up with it, so we're trying to help them out as much as we can. So check out that special with Josh Hawley. Some great stuff. A lot of people really enjoyed that interview as well. So call-ins, we're getting ready for those. Booster Club, what's going on?
All right, feeling dangerous.
Yes.
113. $5 donation.
Nice.
He's feeling dangerous. Do y'all think the pitch clock in baseball encourages pitchers to throw heat inside to buzz the batters? Let me back him off the plate, give him a little more time, get that strike.
We're just doing way too much. We're doing way too much. Because I think about things like this. What happens if the catcher has a bad throw back to the pitcher, and he has to go get the ball, and that's time running off the clock?
Hurry up.
What happened? Like, there's so many variables in baseball. There's a couple. By trying to speed up the game, it's not going to save baseball. All right, it's like trying to speed up golf. Some sports you don't save by speeding them up. If you really want to make the game go faster, make it 7 innings. But this pitch clock, batter clock, it's stupid because part of the aura of baseball, part of the attraction of baseball is the anticipation of the next pitch. It's going through your routine. We have batters that are in the box with 8 seconds, but they're just swinging their bats, waiting for the pitch, and yet they're called not ready. How about this? How about if we are going to have these stupid clock rules? When I'm in the box, I'm ready. Because I remember speaking to Gary Sheffield, watching him do this before he swung at every pitch. Is he not ready? Some guys do the half swing while the pitcher's in his windup. Are they not ready? This was done because Robert Manfred is the dumbest person alive. I'll say it. He's the worst commissioner ever. He makes Roger Goodell look like Robert Naismith. The minute Robert Manfred gets his greasy, rich, trashy fingers off a baseball, we'll all be better for it. So, Robert, I would love for you to come on the show, which I know you won't because you know we'll actually call you out, and explain to me the thought process behind the stupidity of this clock and bigger bases. And if you don't like watching baseball the way it is, how about you just don't watch then? Because you're not going to fix baseball by speeding it up. You're not going to make golf more enticing by speeding it up. If you want to make it more enticing, make them play 9 holes in golf. Make them play 7 innings in baseball. But this pitch, it's not going to make it to the All-Star break. So, it won't make it to the All-Star break.
Somebody made a good point to us on
you.
Twitter saying that once club owners realize when games are short and they won't sell as many hot dogs and beer throughout
without
the game,
a
they're gonna
doubt,
change this quickly.
Yeah, it's when it starts affecting the bottom line. But we're doing too much, right? Right? It's like we talk about all the time, like Madonna's face. You're doing too much. You went from good looking to jigsaw. I don't know what baseball's going to look like in 5 years. It'll probably look like a mixture of Slam Ball and half of the Happy Gilmore movie. But at this point, I don't recognize what I'm seeing. I
don't think you're gaining more fans with the pitch clock.
You're not.
I really don't think you are.
No,
you're trying to appease to the younger crowd because the attention span generationally is getting worse and worse. Obviously.
Well, guess what? Baseball's not your sport then.
It's just not.
Baseball's not your sport.
It's just not. I don't think you're going to bring a new crowd in by speeding things up. Or to a certain extent. I don't even think the pitchers like it.
They don't. I've never seen people get upset after striking out a hitter. The only time I've ever seen a pitcher get upset after striking out a hitter, I think was the guy for the Cardinals the other day in spring training. They called the guy out. He's in the box, and with 8 seconds, umpire calls the third strike, and the pitcher's like,
it just doesn't feel right. It's like a ticky-tack foul call in basketball in like 4 seconds.
Well, that's
apples and oranges. Like, all right, let's go to the bro council. What's up, bro? Hey, I just want to say good morning, guys. Good morning to you, sir. And keep doing your thing and never stop being you. It's official. The Bro Council is up to 300 subscribers on YouTube. Congrats, my guy.
The council's growing. Remember, 1-855-236-3228. We ready.
PD says he loves the pitch clock. Hopefully it forces college football to speed up games. Close, but not right. I don't think college football games are too long, and I don't think anybody really realistic. I don't think managers like the pitch clock. Aaron Boone came out and said something about it.
I don't think anybody that really loves baseball likes the pitch clock. And people always revert back to, oh, you're a baseball purist. Oh, you're a baseball purist. Okay, so what would happen in football if we just started giving you 3 downs? How about that? You just get 3 downs. Not 4. You get 3 downs. Basically the same thing. Or, you know what? Let's move the how about this? You get a delay game after 15 seconds. Good luck. Everybody run up tempo. You're trying to fix the unfixable. And at some point, you have to understand that in baseball, how about you market your stars better? How about that? I think that gives you a better chance than doing the pitch clock or, getting the Savannah Bananas to twerk in the middle of the 4th inning. I just don't recognize what I'm seeing. One more, we're going to get to calls.
All right, let's go to Tug Speedman.
Yes.
There he is. So seriously, though, Twilight question mark? I'm not mad, Blaine. I'm just disappointed.
Look, Blaine's into that stuff.
Look, first of all, it came out when I was in high school. All right.
Well, you were into old girls.
That's worse.
What? Excuse me.
Yeah.
All right. Went to a couple midnight premieres. Phenomenal. 6 dudes in there, all chicks. Like I like. Look, for some reason that Belichick's just hot to me.
Are you on crack?
Well,
she's just hot to me.
This is like
I'm Team Edward. First of all, Jacob, get out of here.
No, well, like this is like the argument that like people say, yeah, I was a male cheerleader, but I got all the chicks. Like,
no, it's not.
Yeah,
no,
it is. It's like yeah, but like you were still a cheerleader. Not
Did you watch the Twilight movies, David?
Wrong with it.
Watched the first 1 or 2.
Yeah, the first 2 are really.
You know when I watched it? When I went over to a girl's house at night because she wanted to watch it. And between you and me, I wasn't exactly looking for the plot of whether his diamond skin's going to turn into something. I didn't like the movie.
If that's what you called
right, it, Jake.
Is Justine talking on program or is she just?
I have no idea.
I don't know anymore.
Sorry, I don't program.
Oh, okay. Good.
That's what it takes to get Justine on program, I guess. Is
start talking about Twilight yeah, if
that's what you called Robert Pattinson mid for, I would get it. But he did good stuff after that. That's what you're calling him mid for?
What good stuff?
What's the elephant movie?
The King on Netflix.
You don't even remember the name of the movie, so it must not be that good, Dave. The elephant movie?
Better than Twilight.
Dumbo?
With love for no. What
Dumbo?
That's the only elephant movie that
if you watch that Batman, you'll agree with me.
Have you not seen that Batman?
No, I haven't seen it.
He's terrible.
Water for elephants because they need to drink.
True. Good job, Robert Pattinson. You can fill their
Reese Witherspoon's in it and Christoph Waltz. So
I love Christoph Waltz. Christoph Waltz is fantastic.
Don't tell Blaine that.
He's great in Inglourious Bastards. All right, we ready to get to calls?
Let's get to some calls.
I can't wait for this.
Amos calling in from West Virginia. Hey, set the tone on Monday. What do you have for us?
I'm just hanging me a branch in the trust tree and thought I'd ask y'all about the Houston Texans.
Oh, yeah. Hey, what's it? You got a call sign or are you just going to keep it Amos?
Couchfire.
Couchfire from West Virginia.
Sir.
I get it, and I love where your head's at. Continue.
Well, my question is the defense going to be good at Houston this year? I think with D'Amico Ryan's head being the smoothest surface on earth, all they got to do is have that middle linebacker. He'll just put his hands on his head, and all that knowledge get transferred through into the middle linebacker. I think
that's how it works.
Something about this being a dragon and all.
Yes, sir.
That's exactly. Well, we all know dragons have
the transfer of power is real.
Communicate telepathically, so you're 100% right. But here's the thing about
smile so sweet makes Aunt Jemima jealous.
It does. It does. And that's coming from famous Amos right here. But Duke can make a hell of a cookie. Here's my thing with D'Amico Ryans. I think the biggest thing that you're going to see out of D'Amico Ryans is I think you're going to see the Texans playing with confidence. The Texans having a guy that they know, not saying the coaches before didn't have their back, but it's amazing what free agents, once the ball gets rolling, and what type of player that DeMeco Ryans wants to build the Texans around from the inside out, whether that be the linebacker, whether that be the quarterback. My thing about DeMeco is he exudes confidence. He's a young guy that's energetic. He's up to date schematically with not only where the NFL's been, but where it's going. And I think he has perspective. Now, will there be bumps in the road? There is. Anytime a guy becomes the CEO or becomes a head coach for the first time, there's things you learn on the job. But if the Texans can remain patient, which, hell, y'all have for about 300 years now, it seems like. So what's a couple more years? I think y'all hired the right guy. And from a defensive perspective, I would be shocked if a DeMeco Ryans defense wasn't at least in the middle of the league in the first year with the Texans.
And that's a win.
And that's a win. And he's going to put him in the best position possible. I love the hire when they made it. I said halfway through the year, if somebody was smart, they're going to hire DeMeco Ryans, and it was the Texans that did it. And I'm excited to see what they do with that number 2 pick, and because they're obviously going to go with a quarterback, right?
Well, I hope so.
Yeah. Well, you would think.
One more question. David, why didn't you name your either Ace or Eva? You should have named her middle name Waffle.
Waffle?
Waffle.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was one of my nicknames at one of the marketing firms I worked at. So
Waffle?
always called me Waffle Cone.
Waffle cone?
Waffle cone.
Well, it's again, that's
Always
a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Waffle cone? Not a fan.
Waffle
Yeah.
cone.
Yeah.
That'd
Not a
be
big cone.
There you go.
Like ice cream cone guy.
Yeah. Went to Baskin Robbins yesterday. by the
You
way.
did?
Yeah.
Did you get a
What's
waffle
the size?
cone?
I didn't. But I
Then
got
get off my lawn.
But I got a butter pecan milkshake.
Well,
But I think if you're a Texans fan, you'd be fine with being in the middle of the pack next year.
For sure.
I mean, you were the dead last in rushing on the NFL. You gave up 170 yards a game. All right, with DeMeco Ryans coming in, that's not going to happen anymore. It's really not. So you shoot for the middle pack. You get your quarterback. You got to hit your other draft picks too.
Draft well.
They need to draft extremely well.
You already have Derek Stingley Jr. there.
Yeah, but Petra too. Other side of cornerback. You have some
young
rising
guys
stars
that-
there.
Yeah.
You seen that guy at quarterback,
out.
but 100. I think Derrick Henry rushed for like 220 against him, which is not surprising. But
He always does that.
yeah, I know. But you watch against the Texans, teams won't even want to throw the ball against them. You're going up 170 yards a game on the ground. Let's run it.
Yeah.
So I think DeMeco Ryans is not almost a better fit. A guy who played linebacker, who's one of the best linebackers to do it.
Couch Fire. Appreciate it, brother.
Hey,
appreciate
God,
it, buddy.
such a Great call, son.
Talk to you soon. All right, Anthony in Clarksville, just
yeah.
down the street. Anthony, what's going on?
Hey, two Eagles here. Just
Yes.
Yeah.
calling in. I kind of so emotionally I'm on Jake's side on the ref thing. I really am. However, I do see the points Jake and David make about, hey, it's your job as a player to have a good defensive stance or to be in the right place at the right time, type thing. But as someone who has been bitten when I was in high school, I played for Grissom in high school in Huntsville.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Home of Hunter Morris.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. He's a year younger than me, but or two. One of the I can't remember. But anyway, we played a playoff game where it was just a slobber knocker, and I was a football player, so I loved it.
Yeah.
I remember I came out of that game like I had scratches all over me, and I had bruises. Like it was great, and our center was in really perfect defensive stance, and just barely smacked dude's hand in like the last minute of the game on a shot, and we ended up losing. I mean, it's just so hard. It's kind of like when a ref or an umpire in baseball has a strike zone, and ninth inning that goes out the window. Like that's super frustrating, and it really affects how you approach the game. And so consistency is what I want. I don't care if you call it ticky-tack or if you call it, physical.
I agree.
Yeah. And well,
you
that's.
got to stay consistent.
Yeah, Anthony, and I agree with you. I've sat in this chair and said that. But the difference is, I think that was a blatant foul. Like, when I say that it was, when the game was physical and being consistent, there were some calls that I thought they should have called that they didn't, but blatant fouls were called. Like, Baylor Shireman got destroyed one time shooting a three, and they called it. I mean, you had some plays down low, hook shots from San Diego State where a guy got hit on the arm. There was 2 and 1s down low where they got hit on a hook shot when they established position. My biggest thing is, if you're going to call it physical, let them play physical. But that doesn't mean you don't call fouls anymore. That doesn't mean it turns into rugby. I think where the argument comes from is whether that last play was a blatant foul or not. I think that's where most of the disagreement comes from. I just think that an isolated shooter, just like if he was shooting a three, okay, out in front of everybody, because everybody could see the player, you could see the defender. This wasn't in a crowd. This wasn't a bang thing where whose hand touched the ball last or anything like that. He literally put his hand on his hip, grabbed, pushed down and out. And that's why that man fell. That's why I think it was a blatant foul. And I think the game ended that way. I hate it.
I think what I didn't like about it, so for a long time, even when I was in high school, it was kind of the rest who did the more consistent jobs. Usually shooting fouls, it was really hard to get called for a shooting foul that wasn't contesting the shot. If you had a bump on the hip or something like that, that's one thing. And that's kind of like going back to the most hated Auburn basketball game ever against Virginia in the Final Four. That was a slobber knocker of a game. It was pretty low scoring. Both teams were mucking it up. And what I hated was Samir Dowdy absolutely, interrupted his landing.
He fouled him. I'm an Auburn fan. Samir Dowdy fouled him.
Yeah.
However, what made me mad was that literally on our last Hail Mary attempt, Bryce Brown, catches the ball, tries to put up a hurl, and he gets hurled off to the sideline. And so the difference is Bryce Brown was on the run, I guess. But
that biggest problem, they didn't call double dribble.
It's just so easy to blame the refs.
It is, and I think even both coaches will tell you, David, you know this, more than one play decides a game.
I know, yeah, no doubt. Appreciate it, Anthony.
Anthony, two Eagles, thanks, buddy.
Eagles, thank you, sir.
All right, Nate from Kentucky. What's going on, Nate?
Have we ever called from Kentucky before?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, man?
I'm just enjoying the view from the trust tree.
Yes. Isn't it so? Drink it in. It always goes down smooth.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I was not blessed to be even close to being on 7-Footer Island. So, it's nice. The view's nice from up here. It must be nice to be where David Cohn is.
Yeah, imagine what Zach Edey's doing. He's back on the island now. How's he doing, by the way?
He's doing fine. I mean, he ran into
Wait, why am I asking Blaine?
He ran into you already asked, buddy. So, you already gave it away. So, it's my island. Zach's doing great. Cohn's lived up his stay for about 4 months now. So I'm going to need you to go and pack your stuff and get off. But Zach's doing good. He's recovered from everything.
Can't be doing too good.
FDU, he's getting ready for the league right now. He's picking apples off trees.
I don't think
saving
so.
kittens.
Better figure out a 7th year of eligibility or something.
Well, he's about to go to the NBA.
Yeah.
Who's taking him?
Second round, maybe?
Someone's going to take him to look at him.
Yeah, either that or Russia's going to take him. What do you got, Nate?
I forgot my call sign. Call sign Doc. I'm the one that
Doc
is in Kentucky. I'm actually in Bowling Green, which is just
okay.
BG.
He's committed to Western Kentucky in high school.
Such an OG name, Doc.
Yeah. I'm in med school, so that's
I like it.
Anyway, so my dad's a Notre Dame alum, so that's why I'm a lifelong fan. I've been to a game every year since I was 7 for football. And also my mom's from Chicago, so I'm a Chicago everything fan, which is we're kind of down right now. So which will come first in the big three sports, a Notre Dame championship or Chicago championship?
All right, are you Cubs or White Sox?
Cubs.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, Shapiro. In the big three, I would say, I love what Marcus is doing. I believe in what he's doing. And by championship, I'm guessing you mean national championship, not made it to the playoff, because y'all are tired of that.
Notre Dame Conference Championship.
No, I'm
they're going to win it. Yeah, they'll win it. I would say, you know what? I'm going to go a little crazy here.
You're not going to say Notre Dame.
No. Give me the Chicago Bears. Give me that's how much I believe in Justin Fields. You got picks. You can surround him. To me, I think he is, if you put him on the Eagles, they win the Super Bowl. I really believe, even though Jalen Hurts bald, but not win. I would say go as far. I don't think there's a huge difference between him and Jalen Hurts. I think Justin Fields has a chance to be the elite of the elite, and they got DJ Moore. You can add a couple more weapons around him with Darnell Mooney. And then defensively, I know you got rid of Roquan Smith and Quinn, but you can add pieces. Give me 2 to 3 years because I think it's going to take some time. I don't think Notre Dame wins a national championship till they join a conference.
I'd go Notre Dame football.
Really?
I think before the Bears, you got some time. If you're the Bears, Cubs don't believe it, Bulls don't believe it. I feel like we just watched TCU make it to a playoff. I think Notre Dame
made it to the playoff.
Yeah,
exactly.
but half the battle is make it to the playoff and getting there. I think you can win 2 games, especially with kind of what Marcus is getting going right now. And hell, I'd watch out for this year. There's not a lot of elite quarterback talent walking around that league this year, but there is one at Notre Dame. So give it a couple years. I just think in the span of time, the Bears aren't going to win it for a long time, in my opinion. Cubs, no. The Bulls are only getting worse. So I think Notre Dame could slip in there a year and maybe get one.
I agree. I like Notre Dame. I have a lot of respect for Notre Dame. They're going to win another championship in football at some point. But the parity in professional sports is just at a whole different level. Like, you're encouraged to take top draft picks when you have a bad season. And it's easier to turn around.
They give you the recruiting class a little bit. That's what it is. It's not going to be the Blackhawks, I can promise you that. But Nate from Kentucky, Doc, appreciate it, man. Was that our first call from Kentucky?
I don't think so. No,
I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Appreciate it, Nate. All right, Tyler, Florida. What's going on?
Hey guys, it's Hurricane here.
Hurricane.
I just wanted to call in, and I wanted to ask y'all about my Miami team. Other than them being in the Final Four, I know nothing about basketball except for getting in the hoop is good. So I was wanting to know, what do y'all think about the chances of those guys coming back? Are they like Wong and them? Do you see them getting or coming back and maybe making a deeper run?
It's a great question. Here's where I'm at. Wong came back for this year. I thought he was gone last year. After what I watched him do to Auburn. Number one, does anybody look at Isaiah Wong and see Chris Bosh? They're totally different players, totally different size, but oh my God,
they look alike. For sure.
Oh my God, do they look alike? But when I look at Wong, I think he's gone to the NBA. I think he's going to be an outstanding NBA player. That dude is an absolute walking bucket. Nigel Pack, the transfer from Kansas State, who actually Marquise Noel replaced, who I think is fantastic. I think he's the most underrated player in the league. I don't see him as a guy that's going straight to the NBA. Now, I don't know how much eligibility he has left, but in the era we're in, I'm going to guess he has another year because it seems like everybody, hell, I think I have another year, and we all three have another year when it comes to this. But O'Meary, I believe O'Meary is a junior, correct?
O'Meary is a sophomore.
Sophomore, wow. I think he's a guy that's going to be there for 4 years. He's 6'7". Well, I mean, what's he going to do? He's going to play 4 in the league. He doesn't shoot the ball well enough, I don't think, to be an early. He's got to develop and develop. So outside of Wong, I think a lot of this core will be coming back. I got to see Nigel Pack's eligibility, but everybody talks about Wong and then Miller.
Jordan Miller's the only senior.
Jordan Miller's the only senior. Yeah,
the only senior.
Now, the thing about Jordan Miller is, and he was absolutely on fire yesterday, but Jordan Miller isn't the main cog in the wheel to me. Jordan Miller is a big piece of many cogs in the wheel. That's Miami's strength. Miami's strength is they throw different guys at you, and think about this. Miami team is the only team left without a 7-footer. The only team left without a 7-footer. And some people will look at that as a disadvantage. I don't know. I kind of look at it as an advantage. Now, when you look at FAU, the difference, FAU's 7'2" guy can run. Golden can run the court. So when I look at this Miami team leaning forward, I think Jim Larinaga, who is a fantastic human being and coach, this court's going to come back, and do not be surprised if they make another run next year. So
who does UConn have that's 7 foot?
Sonogo, and the white kid.
I don't think Sonogo.
The white kid's 7'2".
No, Sonogo's 6'9".
All right, dude, go to the white kid. Go to the white kid from Bristol. He's a freshman. He's the other guy that plays center. Sometimes they'll put him at the 4. Klingon.
Okay, so he's 7'2".
7'2".
Is he a starter?
He's played probably about as much as Sonogo has. He gives Sonogo a break. Sometimes they're in there together. It seems when Hawkins isn't hitting, they're both in the game. Like, it turns into a big game. But literally, Miami is the only team without a 7-footer that plays valuable minutes. Different styles, right?
Appreciate it, Tyler.
Hurricane, thanks, buddy. Oh, go ahead. Oh, that one dropped. That's all right.
I was just going to say.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that to Blaine, the referee was absolutely correct. It was a great job. I think he should get a raise.
Yeah, yes.
I don't feel like you believe that.
Mid.
Yeah. That's why. All right, there you
That's what
go.
it's for. People don't
Emotional.
forget.
Tell him, Tyler.
Remember when you peed your pants? Dude, that was like second grade. People don't forget.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate
All
it.
right, Jesse from Utah. What's going on?
Howdy, folks. This is Midnight Crain to Georgia.
Yes.
Sir, what a name.
And my call sign is baritone if it hasn't been taken yet.
Bear, now, is that bear B-E-A-R a tone, or are we talking straight instrument spelling?
We're just talking vocals, but
Nice.
we can change that to bear with pause if you want.
Look,
Hey, you
live
be
your
yourself on this. Whatever you want.
It's the trust tree. You live your life.
Fair enough. All right. Well, this morning I've been thinking about my hometown. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm a little bit far away from Georgia.
Yeah.
And I like to remember how humble my beginnings were. And I've heard y'all talk a lot about where you're from, but I'd like a little bit more background, some stories about when you first realized that you were from the ghetto or from a poor country town like I did.
Mm-hmm. Well, like, I think you realize it when, and it's not like this as much in Auburn now, was it's known by one road, and that's Wire Road. Like, it's not like, hey, you know, you got this and that and this and that and this and that. It's, everything is based off of one road. That's how you know you're from a town that is somewhat rural, and that's why it's crazy. I go back to Auburn now, I get lost in my old hometown, but I think really the moment it hits you is when you go to a big city for the first time. I remember the first big city I can really remember going to is Birmingham when I was younger. And because to me, that's a big city. And driving around, I was like, oh my God. Like once we got past Alexander City on the way up there, it was like going like the Wizard of Oz, like big buildings and things like that. I think that's when you realize, but if your town is based, if you can get around your whole town based off one road, that's my thing.
Is that how you feel too?
Yeah, right. You always want to get, you're coming home, maybe you're doing something in high school or something like that. You always want to get past that one stoplight.
Yeah.
All right, that's where you know that you get past that one stoplight.
Where you always get stuck
You
at.
know you're in the clear, and I think it kind of refers to what Jake said. You move to a big city, man, it's like, you know, you kind of start making money a little bit, and you're still that same stingy guy who doesn't like to spend money on things because you're used to growing up with not a lot of it. So I'm kind of in that phase, right? And I don't think you ever really get used to it, to tell you the truth, man. But, you know, you're from a town where everybody knows everybody. You know all the cops, all the teachers, you know, all the old crazy heads who do the same thing. So that's what you kind of, from small town.
Statesboro?
Well, I grew up with a peanut field on one side and a cotton field on the other
there you
side.
go.
Spent most of my youth trying to get out.
Yeah.
Wait to get out of here. After 10 years in Atlanta, I'm like, man, how small of a town can I move to?
Yeah,
now?
can I move?
Can I get back to that, please?
Move to Fargo or something. No, I loved growing up in a town that wasn't super small, but it wasn't super big. It was like Goldilocks porridge. It was just right.
Appreciate it, Jesse.
Thanks, Jess.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Midnight.
All right, Randy from Ohio. What's going on, Randy?
Not much. This is Baby Sawyer's dad. Call from Lockdown, right, Blaine?
Lockdown,
Look, line it up. I'm ready when you are. All right?
Set it up.
I got to hurt quad right now, but you gotta let me get healthy. You gotta give me a couple weeks. I got to get healthy.
No, we got to do it now.
I got to get healthy.
Oh, that's funny.
I had a question about what you guys think about the future of the conferences in football, and if they're going to be super conferences, and when do you think that would happen?
Yeah, you know, I go back and forth on this and thinking of, are we going to end up with 2 mega conferences, or are we going to stick to 4 power conferences? And the more I think about it, the more I lean toward we're going to end up with 4 16 to 20 team conferences. I think that's the move. As long as NBC's still involved and these streaming companies we know ESPN and Fox and CBS and these people are still going to be involved and want to be heavily involved. But I started out thinking it's inevitable. It's inevitable, but that we're going to end up with 2 super conferences, ESPN versus Fox. But the more I sit down and look at it and kind of look at the shifting of it, and you ask yourself, how many teams can a 4-conference realm of the top of college football hold per conference? All right, so if we were going to split it into 2 super conferences, what do you say, 35 teams in each conference, 70 teams, something like that total?
That's the whole country at that point.
Yeah,
that's a whole league.
That's, again, I think we're going to 4. That's what I think.
If you do 4 times 20 and you get to 80, again, that's even more than we have in Power 5 right now.
Yeah.
And it's just too many to compete for a national championship in college football. College basketball, clearly not. We got 3 new teams in the Final Four this upcoming weekend, which will be great. But in college football, it's just not like that. I think they're going to go fewer teams, and you're going to have ESPN and Fox have 2 different divisions, and they're going to play each other.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
What do you think, Randy?
Last thing, I agree with you. I think we're going to 4 as well.
Yeah.
And last thing, Ranch is mid and go blue.
Go blue, buddy.
I tell you what.
Randy.
I tell you what, with lockdown,
there's certain things that upset me. I'm a hard guy to get to, right? When you're dead inside, I'm hard to get to. But there's a slither of life in there, and that's the love of ranch. So now when I see you, Randy, it's on site.
All right, it's on site.
It's on site, Randy.
It's on site. Hey, guess what? It's a hitch and go. It's a hitch, and I'll tell you right now. He's going to try and embarrass you with the hitch.
Double move.
Yeah, don't fall for it. Play back. Cover 2. Play on top. Split
Randy,
him on 2 birds.
Michigan spring football preview coming this week, buddy. Don't miss it.
Get ready for it.
A ranch spring preview coming this week.
You're going, Randy? You going to the spring
I
game?
think so.
Nice.
That's crazy,
I live like 40
Randy.
minutes from Ann Arbor.
Well, I'll talk to Harbaugh. Maybe we can get some pads on. I'll see you on the 25th.
Yeah, some pads and some ranch.
Look at that.
Later.
That'd be great.
Appreciate it, buddy. That's it. That's it, boys.
All right, great stuff. Appreciate the call-ins. I'm going to the board. Perfect timing.
Ranch is mid?
Look, let the man live his. Let him
Fine take.
Look, I don't agree with him, but he said go blue after, so
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. The Michigan guys. That's why you just said that wasn't a foul.
I said it with all due
We're going to
respect.
Frozen 4. I don't care about basketball anymore.
I said with all due respect.
You talking guy now, huh?
All right, here's what I got tonight. Like I told you, it's my fault, people of Earth, for not betting women's basketball this whole time. It's on me. I'm man enough. I can take it. So here's what I got. Virginia Tech -2 and the under 140.5. All right, it's going to be a lot of unders taken betting this. By the way, I do want to give Reed a little credit. She put $25 on Virginia Tech to win the national championship. We're going to see. We're going to see. And then my second bet, Maryland, USC, under 136.5 because South Carolina's probably going to win 76-31, probably somewhere around there. It's like, you remember a couple years ago when they were hyping up the UConn-Mississippi State game and they showed the Mississippi State coach, like, before the game, he's like, we're going to shock the world. We're going to shock the world. And everybody's like, Mississippi State can do this. And then it was 32-4 after the end of the first quarter. I remember that. Wow, what a bludgeoning. Okay, so those are my 2 bets. The second one's going off at -110. The first bet, the Virginia Tech -2 under 140.5, is plus 256. Hey, Quad Boy, what you got?
Ooh, me? Second today? All right. Give me the Panthers -1.5, plus 168. A little road action here. I think they're going to cover. Give me a 4-2 score there. And give me the Sixers +5 at the Nuggets. I think James Harden will be back for this game. But hey, let's do our job. All right, cover. I'm feeling good about this month.
You like that one?
Feeling great about
Still
it.
watching
Going
the NBA,
down.
Your son's balling.
Yeah, your son
He'll
is
blow it.
absolutely
He'll
just
blow it this
terrorizing
week.
the planet right
Guaranteed. New Jersey Devils. You know why? Because Genucel is the official skin cream for the Devils. So
Are you serious?
Nice.
Yeah.
Because even the Devils
Money
got good
lines
skin.
-130, and then Avs money line plus the over 4.5 goals at -150. Hockey.
Yeah.
Hockey.
All right, and Nostradamus, also known as Ace Cone, you better trail this guy like you're following him. He wants the Kraken plus 1.5 and the under 7.5 at -130, and then the Senators money line, because don't the politicians always win, at plus 115.
All right. Let's go to Cal Kennedy.
Yeah.
What's up, Cal? Said I cashed San Diego State to make the Final Four plus 1,400.
Oh, God.
And UConn to make the Final Four plus 450.
Wow.
Come on, Kyle.
Kyle,
Send me some
I
money.
need you to root on FAU with me, bro.
Send me some money, dude. Let's go to MJ Briers as number 1. I think the pitch/batter clock sucks.
Yes.
But isn't banning the shift and making bigger bases going to lead to more hits, which may not even slow down the game?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I had no problem with the shift. Really. Look, if you can't adjust to where if you're going to put all your, imagine the guys back in the day that would have loved if you put all the players on one side of the field.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how much as a hitter I would love if you said, you know what, we're going to put all the players on this side of the field and we want you to hit it to that side of the field so you know where I'm going to throw this ball. Not only are you overloading the field to one side, you're telling me where the pitch is coming. That's a hell of a lot more information than I got when I used to get in the box. I can promise you that.
So you could push a 100-mile-per-hour fastball on the inside corner.
No, you don't understand what I'm saying. If I know that you're throwing a fastball on the inside corner, I'm about to turn and hit that son of a gun to the hot dog stand over the left field fence.
Oh, so you're just going to hit a home run.
If I know where the pitch is coming, do you know when these hitters know where the pitch is coming? Do you know how good these guys are? Like this isn't.
Even if you know it's coming, like it's still extremely hard to hit. Our people would have hit a lot more home runs during the shift.
Aaron Judge just hit like 800 home runs during the season. Like we have guys
with no
hit a massive amount of home runs. They hit massive amount of home runs. The shift has nothing to do with home runs.
Well, if you know where the pitch is coming, right? When the shift was on,
yes,
right? Why didn't we see an uptick in home runs?
You did.
No, you didn't.
When's
go back,
the last
go back
time?
and look. Like literally, since the shift been banned, you've seen more home runs.
We've seen a decline in home runs. What year have you seen a decline in home runs in Major League Baseball?
I'm saying since the shift's been banned, right, we've seen more home runs.
Wait a minute. Aaron Judge just set the single-season record for hitting home
Isn't
runs
this
with
the
a banned
first season,
shift.
though, since it's been banned, coming up?
I thought last year was the first season since it was banned, the shift.
No.
Okay, well, then I was mistaken because I'm pretty sure.
So.
But, okay, well, I thought it was. I'm just saying, even with the shift, we would have seen more home runs if they know what pitch is coming.
Again, my argument is that if I know, I would much rather know where the pitch is coming than you line up somewhere.
For sure.
That's my whole.
But even if the multiple pitches on the same, even if it's inside, slider, splitter, fastball, if you get delivered a ball inside, one, you're still guessing, and two, that pitch is going to be hard to hit even with the shift.
Well, to me, it's like on 2K when you're able to lock in the pitch because you guess where it is. Like it's as a hitter, hitting is deductive reasoning. That's what it is when you're in its process of elimination. I am eliminating things that I don't think can happen because of the pitch count or the alignment of the defense or all the information that I'm giving. All I'm saying is the shift actually made it easier to hit, in my opinion. So.
Well, I mean, statistically, I don't think that's true.
Okay.
Let's go to PD. Says, let them shift. Good players will know how to put the ball in play.
Yeah.
Right? Well, I mean, it's different being putting the ball in play and putting the ball exactly where you want to put it in play. Right? Obviously, these guys can put it in play. That's why the shift was there, because they're going to put it in play where the shift is.
Yeah, but again, pitchers aren't perfect creatures either. They're not going to throw the pitch exactly where they want to all the time, and nobody in the history of the game has been able to hit the ball exactly where they want to every single time.
I mean, I remember playing first base. If it was a right-handed hitter, I'd play farther off the line. If it's a left-handed hitter, I'd play closer to the line. It makes sense. So that was just an exaggeration of that. You're just playing the statistics. Why we have to make a rule to get rid of? I don't like it either. I want to see guys get more hits, but why we need a rule to say, oh, you're not allowed to move your guys over further to play the statistics?
Yeah, that's like telling me I can't bring a cat fire blitz. Oh, you can't bring somebody from that's not directly on the line of scrimmage with a player directly in front of them in a blitz. Like I feel like you're telling me where to put my players on defense. How about you let me put my players where I want to put them, as long as I'm not putting them on your side of the line.
I think we should get rid of blitzes for sure.
I'm sure
no more rules about blitzing. No rushing at all.
So it's like the old Pro Bowl rules.
Tackle the running backs,
4-3,
not the quarterbacks.
We're playing cover 2.
Just let them throw the ball.
And man free.
It's hard enough to throw the ball.
All right.
Don't need you in
I
our
think
face.
it's a little bit easier to throw the ball than hit a 100 miles per hour fastball.
Huh?
I think it's a little easier.
Well, is it easier to throw 100 or hit 100?
With the face mask, and then you got the 5 offensive linemen who are taller than you, and then the 4 defensive linemen who are taller than you, and then all the guys rushing you.
Yes.
Spoken like a true
It's harder to hit a baseball against that pitcher than it is to play quarterback.
I'm just...
I don't know.
I will die on this hill.
Like, are we talking about at the highest level?
I'm talking about the highest level.
You're going to die.
At the NFL.
You're going to die.
I would rather play against the 49ers defense, right, than hit against Shohei Ohtani.
I don't know, man, because it's out of your control, really. Like, at least when you're hitting, it's in your control. Like, if I do good, we'll do good. I can throw a perfect pass, and you can drop it. Or you cannot block somebody, and then I get murdered by one of those things coming off the line for the 49ers.
I think I would complete a pass before I touched a pitch.
You think so?
I think so.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about a bubble or
yeah, okay, no, I'm talking about
stupid like
some
that.
10 plus yards.
So you're hitting the dig.
You're going to be doing a lot of handoffs.
You're hitting the
dig.
Look,
the ball off.
I mean, maybe I can fade a comeback out there. You know what I'm saying? Well, I am
Back
not
shoulder.
touching a pitch from Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, that's the best thing about the back shoulder now for quarterbacks. They can't miss.
Look, just
Hey,
throw
man,
it.
I led you.
right, let's
Hey,
go to
man, I
the-
threw him back shoulder.
Let's go to the Hey First. Hashtag Ask Crain Company. With Bama, what do y'all think of the Sears performance? The rest of the team was on it like he was, Miller included. I feel like Bama would have won that game. I still think Bama was the most talented team.
Look, is Sears the most consistent player that Alabama had?
Yeah.
Like, I was more worried about that guy because when it was going bad for the other guys, you know, the stars, he was the one that picked it up. But the one that shocked me, Noah Clowney not having a good game. I think that hurt Bama worse than what people think because Clowney at 6'10", can run to the rim, can rebound, can shoot threes, can do multiple things. When he's not effective, I think that affected Brandon Miller. And again, getting those 2 fouls early, and to be honest with you, Brandon Miller should have had 3 fouls in the first half. They called 1 foul on, I think it was Bradley maybe, Jaden Bradley, that it was a foul on Brandon Miller and they didn't call it. So, but guys, let's not forget, Bama was running away from San Diego State in the second half. And San Diego State did what? They just crawled back. It's like that game on, what is it? Not The Price is Right, whatever. It's like, yo, Lodi, yo, Lodi, yo, Lodi. I forgot what it is, but it was like that.
All right, let's go to poll.
Poll.
Will Jake win his FAU bet?
Oh, why would you
Yes.
do this to me?
Yes. This is what the
Why
Booster,
would you-
this is what the Booster Club wanted. Yes, no, or definitely not.
Yes. 100%.
They said definitely not. 43%.
Yes, 44%.
Shocked.
No, 42%. Definitely not 14%.
Okay.
I'm mixed
All
bag.
right.
Not gonna lie.
A little
I'm
mixed bag.
surprised about that one. All right, any parting shots before we get out of here on a Monday?
Have a great week. Hey, have a great day, y'all.
Gary Sheffield Jr.
Yes, Gary
sir.
Sheffield Jr. tomorrow. We're going to have 3 more teams to break down. We'll see if Michigan's one of them. Obviously, David's going to do that one. And make sure you follow us on all social media. Sign up to Daily Wire Plus. Become a member. Again, if you love sports and you're sick of all the BS and all the stuff that comes with it on ESPN and those other channels, share the show. Join the show. This is what we do. We like to have fun. And the Booster Club, great call-ins today as usual. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Real quick, Cody, I would so much rather go against Ohtani than go against Charles Woodson in a one-on-one. I mean, I would rather go against Charles Woodson in a one-on-one than Ohtani. 100% down.
Yeah,
The worst you can do is strike out.
Yeah.
Even Mike Trout just did that.
Well, the worst you can do is just not catch a pass.
No, the worst you can do is be in a hospital bed.
Yeah.
Okay, oh
Not
yeah.
get off the
The
line.
worst you can do in that is your brain be blown out of your head by a 101 miles per hour fastball.
No, he's too accurate.
You ever seen anything above 96 is
accurate.
definitely terrifying.
Yeah, anything above 96 is like the same thing they caught with Colonel Fravor and them and that alien thing. We appreciate you guys. And like the chances, well, you call you kind of blue blood. Like the slim chances of a blue blood winning the national championship, we're gone.